the Alive contract is coming. It's an
Do it.
upgrade for Axis. I wanted to point out that one of the things that I'm interested in right now is trying to find a way to make long-term HEX staking commitments more juicy, give you more of a reason to go long on your HEX stakes, to lock up more of that supply, to create more demand for T-shares long term. Because if we can do that and we can give people a good enough reason to do that, it's going to make HEX more valuable in the short term. And it's not a hoodwink play. It's like, okay, well, there's a guy that made this thing called Communist that literally pays you to stake long. That's what it's designed to do. And this was like something that Johnny Sachs had kind of come up with, is that this idea of the coupon rate, which is a percentage of value that you get back when you make a long-term staking commitment in HEX. And so the chart that I have on my screen is the Communist price, priced in Pulse. And what happened today was we broke out of, in a big way, of this ascending triangle pattern. Oh, it's not really an ascending triangle, guys. It's because it's not got enough taps to the upside and the downside, but it's just basically just a straight up and to the right. And you're breaking these horizontal levels all at one go. And what happened was a hex shark came in and bought a quadrillion of these things. So there's only right now in the circulating supply 133 quads meaning quadrillion. Don't get too caught up in the units. Just think about what it costs. So right now a quad costs 36 grand. And that's I think it takes 2 quads to be a whale. So think of it like that. It's about 72 grand gets you a whale position right now in COM. If you go stake HEX right now for 15 years, I think you're getting back somewhere around a 6 or 7% coupon rate. Now, I would love if somebody could go and maybe confirm that. I don't know what the coupon rate is today because the price shot up 90%, so it's a little harder to. This candle was a 90% candle, 93% to be exact. So because there was only 6 quads on the market, and this guy bought one full quad all in one shot and broke the price out, and now it's now almost double the coupon rate that it was this morning. That means that somebody can come in, stake a lot of HEX for a long time, and claim back, like, I don't know, somewhere between 6 and 8% of their value back. It might even be more.
I think it's closer to 10 after that buy.
Okay. So look, if it was 5% and they doubled the price, then yeah, it would be 10%. So that means that if you staked $50,000 of HEX for 15 years, you could get back $5,000 right away in COM. And you can either hold the COM because you're a believer and putting your vote toward marketing dollars to get the next guy to do it after you, to stake up more HEX, making this whole system more valuable, or you could go dump it for HEX and pump the HEX price with it. It's up to you really what you want to do with the COM. Look at the price performance on this thing from the beginning. Like it went up like crazy from, this was a 191x in the beginning of Pulse Chain to the peak. And this whole time we've just been consolidating, and this has been the education period for people to really kind of understand what COM is and how it's valuable and powerful. And we really need the community to adopt and understand the value prop of COM and its ability to onboard more dollars into the ecosystem for the long term, not short term. And so what we did was, I was approached back in March. I've announced this publicly a couple places. There's an article on my X and called the Axis Alive Fusion, and then there's a video that we could play on the way out. And
yeah, we do that.
And what we did was, I was approached by the developer of Communist, and he said, I have an idea for a system, and I think the Axis token is the perfect input token to make this idea explode. And so what we ended up coming up with was a 2-token fusion that will be bonded to Communist to help. Look, Axis token on its own has done tremendously well. Like it's up, for example, it's up a number of X's that I can't even count from the beginning, but more logically from where the most amount of action came in, around $100 a token, it's up considerable. I think it's like 40x or so. It says 204x from, anyway, it's many X's. So this The Axis token itself is both ultra scarce, and it has a very small number of whales that support and protect it, and they're very well funded. And you can see this activity on DBank, and this data will be transparent, and all of the top holders from Dolphin up will be all transparent on this new web layer application part of the Alive contract. And so in a way, we made the system similar to COM in that we think we've cracked the code, so to speak, on how to pay people to adopt something and get locked in for the long term. And we've seen how effective that was with HEX, getting people to stake for a long time and then becoming megaphones they basically become a marketing arm just because they have skin in the game. Well, we think we can onboard people into Axis Alive by the first ever free market floating rebate system, where the market ultimately decides what is the optimal price for Alive to convince the most amount of adoption. So it's a proof of concept for both the HEX COM, and it will be bonded to HEX and COM. So there's gonna be a direct link between, in a big way, by the way, not just like 25 grand, like, more than 6 figures of value, and potentially more will bond these two systems together, so that in the event that this proof of concept is successful on the Axis Alive side, HEX will directly benefit by the COM coupon rate getting dragged up with the Axis Alive system. So I'm very excited about it, and there's a live demo to come publicly. I should have prepped a little more ahead of this stream, just to maybe have this be the debut stream, but maybe we'll do it in the coming week or two. I have no announcement on a release date, but the contract is audited by CertiK. It's live on testnet, and it's ready to go as it could be. I just want there to be the finishing touches put on the stats pages, and then there will be like a multi-stage rollout where like you guys get more and more data sets as the following weeks after it launches, including additional liquidity pools that'll be launched not just on PulseX but also on 9inch and Fux.io. So I mean, it's a very interesting system that can't wait to share more about, and it's going to help make long-term HEX staking great again.
MAGA, or well, I didn't hear the whole acronym. I don't know what that would be, but something AGA. Dude, yeah, I mean that is awesome. I guess we can call this like your soft launch of the product anyway. But yeah, like the more things I think get rolled out, and we have a lot now, but like, the more things get rolled out to help incentivize that long-term staking and stickiness and stuff like that, I think is terrific, And like you said, I mean, the skin in the game, Sami's been talking about, we didn't really get to this topic tonight, but that's okay. But like, just like the cults being a theme this cycle as well. And like, how many cults out there in crypto have these 15-year lockups and stuff like that, where people are running right now to do 15-year stakes, 10-year stakes, long-term stakes again, especially now that the prices are recovering. But yeah, hey, kudos to you to help out that long-term mentality again, man. And yeah,
that reminds me that a maximum commitment in Alive is only 20 days, which is about 8 years. So the way that we thought, like, okay, well, we're launching in an election year, and that's got significance every 4 years, and we're also launching in a Bitcoin halving year, which has significance on a bigger macro scale. So let's make these 4-year cycles, right? You get 2 4-year cycles in a max length commitment, and then you can figure 2 Alive cycles, 2 max length Alive cycles equals 1 HEX staking cycle, right? Because 8 and 8 is 16, so it's about 15 years. So
right, very cool,
awesome, man.